turned to the tool of Twitter to post the termination of his Yeezy brand collaboration with Gap as he remains in an ongoing legal battle with Adidas. How do you move forward now in the fashion industry when they're saying you can't even not only show Yeezy products, but anything bearing that likeness?
Oh, we got some new lawyers. We really had to level up and really show them who's the new boss in town.
He now plans to sell the Yeezy brand directly to consumers, something he argued about with radio host Sway back in 2013.
Or why don't you empower yourself and don't need them and do it yourself?
How, Sway?
Take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man.
So Sway, almost 10 years ago, said, man, why don't you do it on your own? Was he right?
You know what? I will go ahead and say Sway had the answer.
Yo, it's Batman, my back with media. Now, many times when you want to be great in this world, right, or you want to become something like a billionaire, multimillionaire, or somebody that has some sort of recognition or name in the world, right, you're faced with a lot of these challenges and a lot of these circumstances because you are building yourself up to become this person in this powerful position. So when you're talking about a person like Kanye and Cat Williams, and many other folks that are quote unquote woke or awake or quote unquote now really starting to see who they are themselves and develop that certain level of consciousness and spirituality, which they've already had, but now they're at a point where they can start to expose these things, right? And that's just us, the humanity becoming more mature, getting on a maturity level of where we can understand that we're sitting in a game that these elites, I don't like to say too many names, but that these higher ups, and I'm gonna talk about that some more in the video, they are sitting here playing with your lives, with your energy, with your star power. And what am I saying? Is that anybody that is a star is talking about how in the astral plane there is stars that correlate to the earth, right? And these stars, they know that you're coming on the earth based off of your astrology or based off of your zodiac signs, right? So a lot of times these people in these elite groups and these wealthy families and different things like that, they already know who is going to come into power or who is going to step into their fame based off of their alignments on their chart and based off their numerology and these different things. So they will know the mathematics, Mayat, and they will know the alignments of how you would, and they will see the conditions that you were brought up into, and they will try to use your energy against you to stop you to either get you to join their side, become on the dark side, or when they know that you will become this light for other people, they will try to diminish you so bad or make you look so fucked up to where everybody thinks you're crazy. And in this case, this is what happens with Kanye. And the reason I go into this is because Kanye is a great example of a person who is a billionaire who y'all look at crazy, but he has enough sense to become a billionaire. I want you to understand how that doesn't correlate. And once you can understand how that correlates, the rest will make sense.
Classism. It's racism's cousin. This is what we do to hold people back. This is what we do. And we got this other thing that's also been working for a long time where you don't have to be racist anymore. It's called self-hate. It works on itself. It's like real estate of racism. Where just like that, when someone comes up and says something like, I am a god, everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was, a god. I just told you. That's who I think I am.
So when you have somebody like Kanye say something like, I am God, and then everybody gets offended because he said, I said what I said, I am God. And at that time period, everybody said, oh, who are you to act like you're God and you're to act like you're this type of, you got to understand that he already knew about energy frequency. He already knew that God was inside of us, right? But everybody tries to make you seem crazy. So he backtracked. And so this is why when he gets over to what you call, fast forward to what you call Jesus is King, and he had that phase where he was going through his phase where he was, going and worshiping Jesus in the church.
I know you won't let me down, no, no. Yeah, I know you won't let me down.
80 degrees.
he had that phase, right? That phase, and then he realized in another interview, which I'm going to pull up for y'all, and just watch what he says in this interview, right? So
enough to say, this is where I am right now. I'm still a man of God. Jesus still is king, but this is vultures right now. This is where I am.
It is, but I have my issues with Jesus. There's a lot of stuff I went through that I prayed and I didn't see Jesus show up. So I had to put my experience in this world, my experience with my children, my experience with other people, my experience with my account, my experience with my brand, and my experience with the level of music that I was dealing with in my own hands. Like a lot of times I just feel like in our society in America, you know, people, Christians, we're depend on Jesus so much that we won't put the word in ourselves. And the main thing that really that I don't rock with is like, it's just always like, I'm gonna pray for you. And it's just like, you can actually physically do something yourself too, more than just pray. And we're so in this mentality that's all that needs to happen, but we ain't praying our way out of prison. We ain't praying our way out of the abortion clinics. We ain't praying our way to get our land back that was always ours after gentrification, after the Harlem Renaissance and Black Wall Street was burned to the ground. Them prayers ain't working. We have to apply actual physical building partnerships, and it don't start unless we could really be real with each other and say, this is what I did, this is what I did. Like,
so based off of that other interview, you understand that he says that Jesus never came through for him when it comes to he talking about being in all that trouble he was in, because he wasn't talking about Jesus in terms of a being. He was saying, I mean, he was talking about Jesus in terms of an individual, but he wasn't talking about the spirit that's inside of you. He wasn't talking about the God inside. He wasn't talking about the Holy Spirit. And so you understand that he never denied God. He was saying that when did Jesus ever get you out of a situation? Yes, there is power in the name, but you understand that the name without action is femininity without balance of the masculine, meaning you have to go out and take action to make things happen, to make things change. So it's always going to take both the female principle and the male principle to be able to have change in the world when it comes to these folks, when it comes to these people, because people they go based off what they see. They don't become they don't become what they want to see. They don't become the change they want to see. They rather go based off of what they see. And that's why things will never change based off of them. But things change because of you, because of your own frequency. So when you're talking about even the...
Okay, it says, such as, especially but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions.
But isn't that what you said? That Jews run everything?
Yeah, but that actually is considered to be anti-Semitic.
Right.
So I didn't realize that it was anti-Semitic to say, hey, you know, I have a Jewish attorney, I have a Jewish record label, I have a Jewish contractor, I have a
Do you regret your statements?
Or the statements you think you should be walking back? I mean, considering...
What do you mean walking back?
Well, you know, backing up off of them. I mean, the thing is, you've lost a lot of endorsements. People are dropping you. You're getting, you know, vilified. You know, I mean, you might think you're right, but I think, you know, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers, ESPN Sports, Fox News, Washington Post, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MTV Music Television, Nickelodeon, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Comedy Central, NBC Entertainment, Google, what else do we have? Disney, ABC Kids and Family, YouTube, Los Angeles Times, Discovery Network, Paramount Pictures, Facebook, Huffington Post, Yahoo, Marvel, Hulu, Cosmopolitan, Time, Touchstone, Associated Press, Pixar, Miramax, HBO, New York Post, LucasArts, MSNBC, DreamWorks Animation. Now, the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
Do you think they stuck together when they heard what you said? Was that
aspect of when they're talking about the Jews, right? And this is what I was going to say about this. When they talking about the Jews and talking about how pretty much Kanye was anti-Semitic and these different things, you got to remember that the Jews run most of the industry when you're talking about the music industry and these different entertainment industries. So when you're talking about how can he be anti-Semitic, yet he's still just telling you that they run companies. So what they're saying is they're trying to bash him for these hate crimes or for these things he said. And why am I bringing this up to y'all now? Is because I wanted you to recognize that everybody, people that you think are crazy, and I'm going to bring up some more of them later on between Cat Williams, Orlando Brown, and all them, people you think are crazy are actually chosen ones, are actually star seeds that are here on earth that was already in the system, so they know exactly how to wake people up out of the system. But yet and still, you bash those people for going through those experiences to even be able to tell you what was in those experiences. So now we as people can be able to get out of that loop, out of that mental prison that is the entertainment industry, and make our own entertainment. You feel what I'm saying? Get out of the loop that is the politics and get into governing ourselves based off of how we feel about the world and everything else and how we make decisions. So even down to this last interview, when he talking about the Big Boy interview, right? I want y'all to understand that, I'm going to show these last two interviews, these last two clips, they're not that long on the end, that you remember that anytime you're dealing with God, anytime you're dealing with Jesus and these different things, you have to understand these are names. He understands that God is the energy that flows through us all. It's the consciousness that flows through us all. It took him a while to realize that, hey, I'm everything that I've always needed. It took him a while to realize that I have to be myself. I can go try to tell people, oh, Jesus this, but then they're not accepting that. I can go try to tell people this, but I got to be myself. And that's the way that Kanye is the most prosperous. And that's how you're going to become the most prosperous, is by being yourself. Because authenticity is the highest frequency when you're talking about vibration. So the goal is for them to try to keep your vibration down, and all the stars that was meant to be famous to go ahead and have them molested, have them raped, all these different things, right? And to where they're down and out. They don't feel like they know good. They feel like they have to go to the dark side, and eventually they become alcoholics. They become drug addicts. They become child molesters or some type of rapists. They get into some type of cult following or anything because they are not in tune with themselves. And so that being said, for a person that goes through a lot of these experiences and feel like they don't have a way out of it, remember that everything you need is always inside. The strength comes from within you, because within you are connected to the source. You are connected to God. Therefore, all you have to do is channel this inside, channel this power. You have to be able to love yourself, appreciate yourself, hope for yourself, motivate yourself, do everything off of self by asking and going to God. So you're talk to God inside. You talk to yourself inside and insight. When you're dealing with a person like Kanye and them, people that already knew what the fuck was going on but couldn't tell anybody, how you think they deal with it? They deal with it themselves. They deal with it on the inside. You think him with Kim K, that reptilian bitch, you feel what I'm saying? You really think she was helping? You feel what I'm No. So therefore, just so y'all know, y'all see how it's going and how it's operating and how this system works, and y'all see where we're going in today's time. Make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe, and I'm going to have more content coming for y'all. Y'all think. Use your discernment, and use more than your mind, use your heart, and know when things are right or wrong based off of the heart. Always. And make sure you realize that these celebrities were already meant to be famous. I'm probably going to do another video on that. But make sure y'all know.